Hi guys, Bob here. So we're in Rebelle 6 and this is a tutorial on anatomy. So this is a kind of unedited, just me sitting in my room talking, and what I thought I'd do is take you through my method for drawing the structure of the face and to see if it can help you and to talk about some aspects of how the face is made up. So I've been working on this drawing for a wee while past week and enjoying drawing. It took me about 3-4 hours to draw this and then get in and do the detail. This bit here's all sci-fi stuff, but there's loads of different ways to draw the face, and Andrew Loomis, if you've ever heard of Andrew Loomis, you can get his book free online. He had this method of measuring. Now I've got a video on this, and so I'm not going to go into in great detail because you can go and watch that video, but the idea was you've got eyebrows, you've got eyes, you've got a nose, you've got a mouth here, and a chin goes back, and this is the brow. You can then draw in the hair, and that's your starting point for drawing a face. For me, I've always struggled with that, and I tend to do kind of look at reference rather than that. So like if, for example, for a side profile, I know that the brow goes out, I know that the eye comes in, I know that the nose comes out, the nose goes down, the mouth comes out, the mouth goes in, mouth comes out, mouth goes in, chin comes out, and then I can go back and then I can fill in the blanks. There's a mouth here with a couple of triangles, probably goes a bit further back than that. We add in a bit of the nose. We then have eyebrows, top eyelid, eye, and then again, that's me got a starting point. So that's just something I've learned over a period of time to be able to do. And I tend to use that rather than any methods, because methods tend to cause me problems. They tend to make me stagnate, get bored. That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. Oh, I'm needing to measure here, etc., etc. So when you're doing something like this, where there's an offset, you can again use, if I go to a kind of red colour, just hitting tab to go between the, so tab takes you between the menu mode and tablet mode. And I've got a video coming up on some tools that might assist you with that. But this here is a circle. And the way the Andrew Loomis method works is, I've probably went a bit too high there, but your eye level depends what you're trying to do. So you've got your eye level, you've got your nose level, and then the chin bit comes down and your chin goes back. I don't like using those methods. Like even then I was struggling with it because I'm trying to remember all the thirds, which bits went to go where. And you might like that. That might be the way for you to learn. And I would suggest you go and try it. So go and watch my other video on the Loomis method if you want. But let's look at the structure of the nose in this video, or in this image that I've drawn. And what I want you to look at is shapes. So this is a shape here. And we can tell that by drawing and then shading accordingly. So if we were drawing a shape, let's say we're drawing a cube. So we draw one side, and that could just be a kite, for all we know. If I draw the second side the same colour, it's literally just going to disappear. So we need to change the colour because the light has an effect on the image. It has an effect on the shape. Now that's why some references are good and some are bad. So if you've got a reference of a model with lights coming in from all sides and all angles, the problem with that is you are going to lose those shapes. You're going to miss finding those shapes. So if we want to draw this cube, we do need to give it a light direction coming in so that we can then make these shapes. So that's why here the light's hitting the tip of the nose, and then we've got this other shape here, and then we've got the underneath part of the nose. Now you've got to remember that's in shadow, with the exception of kind of bounce lights, and that's partly where this comes from. Now, that's a wee bit exaggerated. It's a stylistic thing, but realistically, there would be some bounce light from her hand. Her hand would take some of the light and bounce it back onto the underside, which is, if you've ever look at drawings, look at how light jumps and bounces off of different objects. But we can add light down here because it bounces off of the hand and back on to the underside of the chin. So the structure of the face, you've really kind of got to think in these shapes. So you've got like the cheekbone here, and you've got kind of round, the kind of cheekbone rounds the face. This is a flat plane. So you're looking at how the light's going to come down, hit here, and again, you can see some of the bounce light hitting the next part of the cheek, which gives us this rounded shape. So you've got the top of the lips, and then you've got a triangle shape here. So again, we're just thinking in shapes. We've got a round part here for the side of the nose. The lips can be made up of circles, and then you can kind of join them together. And again, we're talking about the light coming in and the light not getting to these areas. There's the chin, which has a shadow based on the overlay of the lips. And again, the chin's kind of rounded here. Tend to have a kind of ridge here and another part there. And you can add in and look at how, again, we're trying to round this shape. So if I wanted to round this shape into a ball, I can use my blender and I can start blending these together to make more of a cylindrical shape or less hard edges. So I can start to blend this as though there's a shape here. This blender's not the best, but it's looking less cube-like. It's looking a bit more kind of like a pillow shape. And you can see I've started making some extra shapes there, so you can even firm those shapes up into like a house if you want. There's slight subtle differences in the values that we're using to capture different light hitting different parts of the object. And that's what we're doing with the face. We're shaping it. We're doing like here we've got a knuckle, and the knuckle, if I go to red, the knuckle's rounded. So I'm trying to capture this kind of rounded shape and just get some of those subtle shadows. So there's like a shadow in here, there should be. And again, the hand kind of comes down in this shape here. This, I wasn't too sure when I was drawing what this was, and I thought I'd leave that up to the person to decide. Is it the back of the chair? Is it her shoulder? I'll leave that up to you. But you can see again, it's a rounded shape, and it's rounded on purpose. So we can add in the shadow here. You can be quite harsh with shadows if you're looking for a more blocky. You'll see that sometimes people use that as a style. They use harsh shadow lines. So it's the same as here. If I delete all that crap now, if you want that to be a harsh shape, you can put a very solid shadow, and then it will give this kind of very dynamic change, somebody with a really prominent cheekbone. So let's just bring us back to where we were. And so this is the structure of the face, and then you've got the brow, which comes across, and then you've got the kind of side of the head, which tends to be kind of a flat circle, and the head kind of comes round. Just move that out of the road now. So the eyeball, if we talk about the eyeball you've always got to remember is a sphere. And you've got to remember that that sphere of the eyeball, although you can't see it, will have an effect on eyelids, etc. So let me just delete all that. You can kind of see I'm trying to show this shape here. Let's zoom in on that a wee bit more, rather than working from a distance. And I've got this shape here. And I'm trying to capture the shadow of that eyeball by making kind of rounded shadows. There's a ridge under the eye, so let's draw that below. So I've got my circular part that you can see. Got an eyelid. Now the eyelid will come out. It will have a ridge on it, but you might not see it due to the eyelashes. You've then got the eyelid. Then you've got this kind of fold above the eye. You've also got to remember that with an eye, there's actually this kind of film. There's like another part above it. And we've got the ridge down here. And then you can add in the eyelashes coming off. And if you can see, you might see the tear duct coming in here. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. But again, just remember that these are all shapes. You're trying to capture the shape. That's why up here, if I want to, I could try to make this brighter and then darker here and then darker still as it gets away from the light. It's dark in there, very dark in there. And so let's just remember that you're looking at a sphere. Again, you're looking at the nose. Remember there's a flat plane. So really just think in shapes and see how you go. Hopefully this has been of use to you, even if it's just a wee bit of anatomy and a wee bit of learning. Thank you very much for watching, and Wee Bob is out.